Hey folks, welcome to the Trader's Blueprint. This was a concept that we had come up with because we were asked by a number of people, how much do I need to get started to do this? We've got, as you guys know, if you've been following us or you're one of our students, you know we've got a lot of students trading $500,000 or more prop firm accounts or aggregate of that much. And what we're seeing is people are getting into this prop trading game and they're saying, but if I'm trading other people's money, how much money do I really need to do it? And what's sort of the blueprint for getting me there? So what we decided to do was to give you guys a blueprint. We're not gonna talk a lot about the specific trades and stuff today. This is more about a roadmap of how do you start with $3,000 and get to where you're trading $500,000 or more of other people's money, and you're doing it for profit, right? So you're keeping a percentage of the profits. I'm going to jump right into this. If you guys are, if you've been here before, you know we always punch up the disclaimer. Okay, this is education purposes. Even when you're prop trading, there is an opportunity for loss because you can spend money re-upping your prop accounts, and that's how the prop firms make money. So the trick is being able to beat that, and that's what we're teaching. But what we are teaching is an education program. This is not designed to be investment advice. If you want full investment advice, contact your financial advisor. You'll see the full disclaimer if anybody wants to read it with all the legal mumbo jumbo that we paid so much money for. That's at the bottom of all of our websites: targettrading.co, bubbatrading.com, all the affiliated companies. So this is actually something Pat said. Pat, I don't even know if you realize you said this, but I heard you say this, and I loved how you said it. You said getting funded to trade is no longer for Wall Street insiders. It's not something that it's not a hedge fund thing. It's not a guy that works at a private equity fund. It's for traders who follow a blueprint, a proven blueprint. And Pat's model, his blueprint for trading. Pat, you've been teaching this for a couple of years now, let's say. I think you're on 20 years as a trader and you're on 15 teaching?
Yeah, 1 or 2 years. I've done this before. Once.
Yeah, 1 or 2 year. And I think the thing, you developed your own system, which I think is important, right? The modified market profile system, I think it's amazing. We get contacted by lots of different organizations to teach them. But I think the selling point to me is always that you've got thousands of traders, thousands, not hundreds, not dozens, thousands of traders who have success stories with this program. That to me is in and of itself its own sales pitch. It's not about how good of a trader Pat is. It's the fact that his students are able to do it successfully. Me, I'm 25 years in the financial industry. I was a former investment banker. I'm also the owner and operator of multiple trading education and software companies. And as I say, I'm not only the president, I'm also a client. I use our programs. I believe in our programs. If we have something that we don't believe in, I get rid of it. That's the way we roll. We only present what we believe in, and we eat what we cook over here. And I believe Joe is with us today. I don't see him in the participants yet, but I believe Joe, if you could just jump in that attendee chat if you're here. Joe's over 23 years in the financial industry. He worked for one of the largest banks in the world, 10 years in the education space, the trading education space. And he's also a very successful prop trader in his own right, which is great because Joe is the head of the education consultants. If you work in our program, Joe is your main point of contact other than working with the instructors and things. So he kind of holds your hand and helps you along the way. So we're prop trader experts, guys. We're prop firm experts. I've actually had this conversation with 2 different organizations this week, and they both said the same thing. You guys are amazing at what you do. Da, da, da. Now, they might have been blowing a little smoke up us, right? But at the end of the day, look, prop trading is a newer concept. Doesn't have the age that some of the more traditional trading has, options trading, derivatives trading. Prop trading is something completely different. It is widely accepted now. And what we're finding is people have less and less of a capital base. They're turning to prop trading as an alternative to having self-funded accounts and putting their own money at risk. There are very few people that have been in the prop trading game from the beginning, and we're one of them. That's really what it comes down to. But just a real quick little pat on the back here. Don't take our word for it. Check out some of our students. Here's one student. One of my favorite things about this was just a recent email from him. 50 plus $1,000 funded account. This will make account number 12. So do the math, 12 accounts at 50 grand a pop. Some of them are larger than $50,000, well over $500,000 in that account. That's a thank you for getting me here. That's what that email is.
Mike, just as an aside, so everybody understands what that means if you're not accustomed to prop trading, she has one master account. If she takes a trade in one master account with those 12 connected to it and she makes, let's say, $100 in that one account, that's mirrored in the other 12 simultaneously. One trade, one time, 100 times 12. That's how this works. That's
the system. So we get a lot of these certificates sent to us, people sending us there that they just got approved. This person just got a $50,000 certificate. This one's another $50,000 certificate. But I think the most important thing that we pride ourselves on, we believe in reputation. You check out our organization. We've won multiple awards for what we've done. Outstanding Leadership Award, Top Prop, we won as a trading education program. We're 5-star rated if you check us out. I think the big thing is, at the end of the day, is we commit ourselves to what we do. And for example, today we're committing to give you guys a step-by-step plan. Okay. We step in right now. We're giving you a step-by-step plan to go from an initial $3,000 starting account. All right. That's $3,000 in cash, not $3,000 plus your trading accounts, $3,000 in cash to trading $500,000 plus of other people's money. Okay. So where do we start? That's the first question. And everybody's going to ask the same question. That's great. I love it. I get the process. I understand some of the steps in between, but where do I actually start? Right. Normally you'd need at least $10,000 in trading capital and money for education to be able to get to a point where you were able to make enough to make it worth the time and energy and effort to be trading. Okay. We have looked at what our most successful students have done, and we've reverse engineered that. All right. And what we're seeing is our most successful students right now, they're prop trading. And how are they getting to that point? How are they getting to the point where they are as successful as they are? We did take that number and when we reversed engineered it, and we did add some fluff. So you're going to see, guys, I'm not talking about a $3,000, hey, drop one check for $3,000 and just ride the horse. This is a process. Okay. There is some fluff in there to cover extra expenses. It isn't just the end of the line, your last 3,000 and you're done. Okay. The other thing is, and I want to be clear about this. All right. It's a solid number to start with. Okay. You can use more if you choose to accelerate the process. So what do I mean by that? I'm not saying to you that you have to follow this step by step. And there's going to be a couple of points where I'm going to say, hey, by the way, if you want to spend a little bit more than 3,000, you can skip these next steps, or you can move faster through this process to get to the next step. But if you choose not to, you can start with the 3,000 and you can go from here. Okay. It's a solid, I would say 3,000 is the solid minimum. All right. So in order to get started, you're going to need a few things. All right. This is where the rubber meets the road. So these are the things that you're going to need. This is where you're going to be spending your investment capital. All right. First things first is you're going to need a trading method. All right. You're going to need a method that is repeatable, that is successful, that works over time, that has all of those things. Lucky for you guys, we got you covered there. All right. Second thing you're going to need is you're going to need a charting program. All right. This is a platform. This is a trading platform. All right. You're going to need some format to trade on. You're going to need live market data. All right. You're like, well, if you're new to trading, the charting program or the charting platform and the live market data might sound like a foreign language to you. It isn't. It makes a lot of sense once you get started, but you need both of those in order to be able to trade. Okay. And the last thing you need is you need funds. All right. If you're down to $3,000 and that's all you got left, we got to help you get funds. That's what today is about. So let's start with that first one. You need a trading method. All right. Those of you that are existing students here, you're familiar with Pat's modified market profile method. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on this right now. Okay. But I'm going to hit a couple of key points. It's a high probability trade. It's a 73% or more win rate if you follow the system. How do we know that? Because our students submit their trades. I'll show you in a second what our students have done over the last 4 years, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of trades. And guess what? It's 73+%. Okay, so if you're following the system, it's high probability. It's profitable. Yes, 73% win rate. Even at a 1-to-1 profit loss factor, you're profitable. And our profit factor can be significantly higher if you apply it right. It's a repeatable process. It's something that you're not looking for the luck, right? Some of you may have been stock investors before and you got that news or you saw something on the news and you saw an opportunity and you jumped in. That's not repeatable. Okay, repeatable means there's a setup that you can follow day in and day out, week in and week out, month in and month out, and you can repeat the process to be successful. I think this is a big factor. It's got to be easy to learn. If it takes too long to learn, you're going to waste money, time, energy, and effort before you can ever get to the profit table. So with Pat's method, it's easy to learn, has a risk management system, has a money management system. Okay. That might not make sense now. That'll make a lot of sense down the road. Those two factors are what a lot of trading education programs are missing. They're missing a risk management system and a money management system. They can execute trades well, but they don't know how to keep the money. They can make the money, but they don't know how to keep the money. And that's a big part of the process.
Mike,
all right?
if I may also for a moment, I want everybody to understand something. When he's talking about high probability, repeatable, easy to learn, I am the only person in this business that publishes the levels that you're going to trade at the next day. I show you where to get in. I show you where to get out. I show you how much to risk. I show you how much to disqualify. That's everything. Soup to nuts, nuts to bolts, everything. Nobody else in this industry does this. So there is your blueprint.
Yep. So I had mentioned earlier that it's high probability. If you want to go look at our YouTube channel, you'll see we post our results every day from the student trades. These are statistics over the years, 2022, 2023, 2024, and then year to date. This is actually higher right now. I didn't bring this up since last week, so this is still last week's numbers, but you can see 75%, 71% win rate, 74, 76. It's consistently over 73%. This 71% was the one year that we weren't over it, guys. It was 71%. Sorry. Okay. The second thing we mentioned was that you needed a charting program. So what the heck is a charting program? So a charting program or a charting platform is you use to enter trades and exit trades at your brokerage. Okay. In the old days, you would call in a trade and you'd say, hey, listen, buy me 5 shares of AT&T at, you'd call in on your AT&T phone and say, buy me 5 shares of AT&T at X, blah, blah, blah. That's not the way it works when you trade on your computer. Okay. When you're doing retail trading now, like we do, okay, you need a platform that executes at your brokerage. The problem is the field of platforms is very decentralized. Okay. There's a few big players, NinjaTrader, TradingView, TradeStation, Sierra Charts. NinjaTrader now owns TradeStation. But what you find is that it's fairly decentralized. Okay. That's okay. We know how to work with the different platforms, and a lot of what we teach you can be used on the different platforms. That's an important thing to understand and know. The platform also is where you use your indicators and your trade assist software. Okay, so that's where you would use the quote trading software to make you more effective and efficient that you hear people talk about. All right, but to be effective, a charting platform needs live market data. Okay. So live market data is just, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a real-time stream of current market prices, trading volumes, bid-ask quotes, yada, yada, yada. Okay. It's impossible to trade accurately without it. Okay. A lot of people start with SIM accounts and there's like a 15-minute delay on a lot of SIM accounts. They require you to fund your account, your personal account, in order to have live data. And be able to trade on time instead of the 15-minute delay. But prop accounts do use live data. And on virtually all except one prop company that I know of, They also have sim programs inside the prop company. So sim meaning simulation, so you can practice without it taking a risk. You have sim accounts that are live as well. Okay, so prop accounts give you access to that, which is huge. All right. Going back to our needs, we said there were 4 things: trading method, charting platforms, live market data, and funds. Okay. Funds is the last part. Look, guys, it's the funds that you need to trade. A lot of people could be good traders, but they don't have access to capital. Okay. They can learn the method, they can practice, but not everybody's willing to walk over and say, hey, here's 50 grand of my money for you to go trade. All right. Especially in a marketplace like we're in right now, where cash is becoming harder and harder to get close to, especially disposable income. You shouldn't be trading with your last $10,000. Okay. If you're trading with the money that you need to pay rent and buy groceries with, you shouldn't be trading with it. All right. That's not trading capital. That's not discretionary income. Okay. That's required for living. So one key here, all right, to understand when we're talking about funds is, yes, of course, you can start on sim, you'll have the trading delays and et cetera, but you definitely need to have funds. You can use your own money, but if you lose it, you also lose your own money. There goes that rent money that you had in there. That's a major risk for people. Okay. In today's world, I mean, Pat, you and I were talking about this earlier about the reason for dropping the pattern day trader rule. If you guys know what that is, there's a big movement right now to have the $25,000 account minimum pattern day trader rule dropped.
Now, that's for
Why?
stocks, guys. And just keep this in mind. That's just one of the draconian rules that you have to abide by when trading stocks. The other ones are still going to kill you anyway. But
Right.
the reason they're dropping that is because people don't have money. They can't put
Right.
25. They can't keep 25 G's in a stock account every day and make returns that are absolutely laughable, literally
Right.
laughable, compared
Right.
to futures because of the leverage.
Right. So you can use your own money. Please do not misunderstand me. If you want to learn the process and trade your own money, I will not stop you. Okay. But you can also trade other people's money. This is one of those, why wouldn't I just trade other people's money? Okay. Well, most people don't know how to get there. They don't know how to start that process, and they don't know how to keep funded once they start trading someone else's money. All right. So we talked about the things that you need. We said there's 4 things that you need. You need a trading method, charting platforms, live market data, and funds to trade. All right. How do we solve these problems with less than $3,000? Okay. So one step is the trading method. Now, I mentioned to you guys, all right, that we have a method that Pat has. We have an introductory program. All right. Pat students are finding tremendous success with this particular program. When you buy into the program, you get the classes, you get the live signal room. Signal room, by the way, is where the trades are called out for you when you first start. And you get the live trading room. Okay. We call the program the Future Starter Pack. Okay. It isn't everything you would want, but it's the starter pack. It gets you started. Okay. It's what you need. So it's the bare essentials. All right. It's the Jeep Wrangler of trading programs. Okay. It's the absolute bare essentials of what you need. I'd call it the Bronco, but I think Joe's on here and he might get offended. So it's the bare essentials of what you need. Okay. It works. It's super functional. It's utilitarian. You'll get the job done. But the beautiful part about it is it's not expensive. Okay. You can get started with the Future Starter Pack for $1,500. Okay. We don't push more than that initially, because what we want students to do when they first get into the program is we want them to be successful first. We want to do what's called proof of concept. Okay. We want you to start the program, be successful, and say, I want more. I want to be more successful than I am right now. That's our methodology. Okay. So we keep that Future Starter Pack at a very reasonable price. Now, I've had a couple people say to me, they said, wow, $1,500 is expensive. Not if you're looking at trading academies. Okay. Online Trading Academy They're between $8,000 and $25,000. And that 8,000 is on a discount. You don't even know if you can trade yet. That's you just pay that up front. Okay. That's not refundable. That's not anything. There's another program. Actually, I can't name the second company because I'm in talks with them, but there's another company that it's actually more than that. It's $12,000 to $18,000. Why? Because you're learning a skill that you can make a lifetime of income from. So at a $1,500 get your feet wet price, it's very, very, very reasonable for what we do. And remember, we said we're starting off with 3,000. So guys, right out of the gates, we're knocking off $1,500 off that 3,000 by going to the Future Starter Pack. All right. Now we still have a problem. We have to cover our charting platform. We've got to cover our live market data, and we've got to get some funding. All right. You start with the prop firm's eval program. Okay. Now some prop firms have straight to funded. Okay. What straight to funded means is you're immediately trading live and you're trying to earn money. We don't recommend that in the beginning. We want you to go through the eval process. We want you to prove that you know what you're doing, and we want you to prove it with us and with them. Okay. You can get started on that for as little as $56 a month. And by the way, that's just at today, literally today's price. Okay. A month ago, that number was $20 a month. If you're looking for specials, there's specials out there. You just got to go find them. So a month ago, Apex was at $20 a month for their $50,000 program. Okay. This is a company we do a lot of work with. They're called Legends. Okay. I happened to pick them today because I was on the phone with the owner. We think very highly of these guys. So their price point is $185 a month. Okay. I know, but you just said it's $56 a month. By the way, yes, I did say it was $56 a month. Guess what? I got a coupon code for 70% off for you. Okay. So I'll give that to you at the end. So what this would buy you, okay, at the $56 a month is you get $50,000 in trade funding. Okay. You have a $3,000 profit goal. You've got $2,000 trailing max loss. Okay. And you only have to trade 4 days in order to get that. Okay. If you don't know what that means, don't worry. But suffice it to say that a $3,000 profit goal is very achievable. Okay. $50,000 funded account. Now, this all sounds really good, but what about those other things that we needed? We said we needed charts, right? We said we needed live market data. Well, guess what? You get all of that with this program. So for that $56 a month, you get everything. You don't need to go buy other stuff. You can trade sim there. You can trade live there. You can trade, you have your charts there. All of our software works on their platform because it's used as a TradeStation basis. Okay. So you have everything you need right there, $56 a month. So let's take a look. Let's do the math right now. So far, told you guys this wasn't going to be deep into the trading. This is going to be more about building this foundation. Okay. How much have we spent so far? We got Future Starter Pack for $1,500 and the prop firm setup. That's the $56 a month at the 70% off. I said 6 months. Okay. Now I say 6 months for a reason. That's a good target. Okay. That's a good target to get started, to get through Money Management 1, Money Management 2, to get to where you can actually trade and start being a profitable trader. Now, bear in mind, that's not the end all be all. You can go an entire year of this and still not spend $3,000. Do the math. Okay. You're at $1,500. Okay. $56 a month. You're only adding, what is it, 700 and change on top of that? You still haven't hit the $3,000 mark. Okay. Buying yourself a year of time to get there is plenty of time if you're applying yourself. Now, if you're going to come and go and come and go and come and go and not really apply yourself, that's a different conversation. But if you're coming in and you're putting in the work and you're learning this and you're doing it, that's plenty of time to get it done. We have a student right now that started in February. And actually by July, he was doing this. So 5 months, he was trading over $500,000. Actually, he was trading close to $1 million of funded accounts. Okay, so this is a very doable process if you step in and apply yourself. But then that begs the question, what is the process?
Mike, just so you know, officially he has 2010 with 2 different prop firms simultaneously that he's trading.
There you go. There you go. So you have the idea of the foundation. The question becomes, what is the process? And I want to be clear, guys, this is a step-by-step process. This is not something you want to rush through. You want to execute each step because it was put there with intent. Okay. One thing Pat and I firmly believe in is being able to take anyone off the street, and as long as they follow the process, to make them a successful trader. That means it depends on you to follow the process. Okay. If you follow it, you will find success. So step one, learn the key trades. Okay. Where are you going to learn them? You're going to learn it in the classroom and you're going to learn it in the live trading rooms. Okay. There's classes 4 days a week. Now, by the way, Pat, there's 5 days. You just put class on Saturday too as well. Am I correct?
I put the beginners class on Saturday at noon. And the reason I've done this is because a lot of people, it's a hassle for them to get home on a Monday or a Tuesday night, rush through dinner, try to get to the class. The class is going to be Saturday afternoon, 12 p.m. noon, Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go over the initial techniques they will use, which are literally going to be 85% of the trades that they take. 2 different trades. That's it. The money management and the risk management to get them started immediately.
And guys, that is Mondays, Tuesdays. We have an options classes Wednesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. and then Saturdays at noon. But bear in mind, the classes are recorded. Number one, you can watch the recordings if you can't make them. Okay. They are live. They are fully interactive classes. It's not Pat standing in front talking. Okay. They're fully interactive classes. Second, we have the live trading room. Live trading room. Pat, what time are you open in the live trading room these days?
And you have to excuse me, Mike, because I turn the microphone off every time you're speaking because I don't want to get any feedback, and it takes literally 3 to 4 seconds to ramp up again.
No worries. No worries.
The main room every single day is open at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we're open 20 minutes before the gold market opens. We are on until noon every day. Then we come back from 2:30 to the close, and the reason being is, guys, if you take nothing else from this webinar, take this. Do not trade at lunch because half of the traders are not there, and you will literally get slammed. It is not worth it. Please remember that. That's a free $1 million lesson right there.
Yes. And for the in the live trading room, you're also doing your trade reviews. So if those of you guys that aren't familiar with this, we have a trade review process where each trade you take, you submit. Pat reviews it live in front of the other students, talks about entry, talks about trade management, talks about exit, talks about risk management and how you did with the trade. There's 2 different programs. You have to get through each. First is the first 100. Second is Money Management 1. Pat, how much profit do they have to have made to get out of Money Management 1?
Well, that all depends, Mike. If they can take one of 2 paths. You can start off on the micros, which is what I suggest to do. So you'd have to make $800 to get through Money Management 1 on the micros, earning your way from 2 contracts to 6 contracts. You would then be given the opportunity to go to Money Management 2, which would be what? You would learn 2 more entry techniques, go through another cycle of that, and then you would have earned the right to go live as soon as you're ready. But I want everybody to understand something. After you conclude the first level of Money Management 1, literally 80 to 85% of the trades that you take, you have just learned. So you are really ready to go after Money Management 1.
Pat, if they don't trade micros in Money Management 1, how much money do they make? Do they have to make to graduate? If they're trading money,
they would have to make $8,000 to graduate, which if you guys don't understand the difference between micros and minis, micros are 1/10. All it is for people who are used to bigger numbers, who those numbers don't affect them. You would then trade the minis instead. The process would be the same.
Perfect. So guys, yeah, that when we say learning the key trades, this is a big part of the process. Each of these steps you can be done in 60 to 90 days if you're really applying yourself. These are not written in stone, these timing. We've had students rip through these things in 30 days. We've had students take 6 months to a year to finish them. That depends on you and how much you apply yourself to the system. Okay. A big thing here is let's just say, I mentioned this earlier, if you want to do it faster, let's say you look at it and you say 60 to 90 days is a lot of time. I want to get it done faster. How do I get it done faster, Pat? You can upgrade out of the program that we mentioned earlier, which is the Futures Starter Pack. You can upgrade out of that to include trade reviews. You can also count your $1,500 towards the upgrade. So if you paid for that program, you can now count it. Now that we have another program called the Fast Track. Fast Track is a much more rapid way to get through the system. However, it's not inside that $3,000 price point. To get to the Fast Track, you're going to have to spend another $1,500 if you chose to do it. Okay. Why do a lot of students take the Fast Track? I'll get into that at the end, but basically you get all the software you need, you get all the extras. So as I was talking about before, if the Futures Starter Pack is a Jeep Wrangler, okay, I said 1995 Jeep Wrangler, gets you from point A to point B. It's a stick shift and it works, right? 6-cylinder, don't mess around with those 4 cylinders. The Fast Track is the Cadillac Escalade. Okay, it's got all the bells and whistles. It's got everything you need to go to get to where you got to go as quickly as possible. All right. We get back to it at the end. I want to focus on this right now, though. So one of the keys here is this $3,000 profit goal, because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing this for. We're not doing this to get as many accounts as possible. We're not doing this to just learn how to trade. The purpose behind this is to get profitable and to actually make money. Okay. So as you go through First 100, as you go through Money Management 1, all right, as you go through this program, what we're trying to get you to do is to get you to that profit target of $3,000. Why? Because you make $3,000 in your prop account, you get a payout at 80%. That's $2,400. By the way, if you did this right, you haven't spent $2,400 yet, which means that one payout from your prop account, you paid down your entire investment that you've made so far. That $3,000 I was talking about in the beginning, if you remember, we were only at about $1,800 if you did it in 6 months. Okay, so one payout, you've paid it down. And by the way, you still have $50,000 in funds that you're trading with. Now, that's not your money. You have to hit it another $3,000 profit target to get paid. Okay. A lot of our students are happy here. They're making money on their $50,000 account. They're excited about it. They're like, you know what? This is all I need. But there's those other people. By the way, I'm one of them. All right. You want something bigger. Okay. 50 grand is great. $3,000 every 45 days or so is fine. I'm more than happy to do that. But if you want to reinvest in yourself and you want something bigger, you keep trading towards that $3,000 profit. Okay. You get a few profit targets paid out and you stay inside that process. You stay disciplined to the game and you continue to learn more of the system. All right. But now we're talking about step 3, expansion. Okay. It's time to leverage technology and know-how to grow your business. And if you notice something, guys, I didn't talk about trading here. I called it a business because if you're going to take this step, now you're getting into where you're replacing your income. Okay. You're replacing your job. Okay. Not everybody can do this. I want to be clear. This isn't for this isn't for everyone. We have a lot of students that have done it. We have a lot of students that have done it very successfully. Okay. But I want to be crystal clear. You got to get through that first part to get to this part. Okay. Now, what's your goals? All right. The goal to expand is more trades. We say more trades, but really what we want is we want more wins, right? We want a bigger bank. So we had that $50,000 account. That's not going to be enough. We need a bigger bank. We need more trades and a bigger bank. So expansion is all about hitting these two goals. Let's talk about more trades. More trades, there's a couple of different ways to do this. You can look at more markets. You can look at more accuracy. You can look at better risk management. Guess what? We got a program called the Prop Trader Accelerator. Okay. What does the Prop Trader Accelerator do and how does it achieve those? All right. First of all, you get access to all the trading software. That's the HVA auto download. By the way, why is that HVA auto download important? Pat gives out those levels every day. If you don't have the auto download program, guess what you're doing for the first 20 minutes of every market? Every time you log in, you're drawing in the damn lines. Okay. If you've never drawn in the damn lines, you got to do it. You got to force yourself to do it for a couple of weeks to understand how frustrating it is. You can absolutely trade without the auto download. You do not need it. And many of us, myself included, started off drawing in our HVAs. Okay. But guess what you do? When they're auto downloaded, you get 20 minutes a day. You're trading 4 days a week. That's 80 minutes, guys. It's 80 extra minutes to trade. Okay. That's a trade or two every week that you're adding back in. Okay. Second thing is you're more accurate. If you're hand drawing in your HVAs, I'm not saying that you're not necessarily you're inaccurate, but there is human error. Maybe 1 out of 20 you make a mistake, 1 out of 30 you make a mistake, but that mistake can cost you. With the downloadable HVAs, they are by the book and they're pumped up there. Second is the Trade Assist software. You're talking about auto entry, auto exit, manual. You can still manually manage these trades as needed. This isn't an auto trader. Okay, what it does is it trade assists. So you turn it on and it enters the trade for you. It manages the trade for you. You can manually manage around it. Okay, why is this important? Okay, for me, I use it. I can trade more markets. That's number one. I can only look at a market or two at one time. But if I have my Trade Assist software and I see a trade getting close to, I see a market getting close to an HVA, I turn it on. It takes the trade for me and it moves off. More trades, more markets means more trades, means more profits. Okay. The other thing you get with the Prop Trader Accelerator is you get a mentorship. Get better faster. I can't explain that any cleaner than that. Get better faster. Okay. If you're looking at the timeline and a 90 to 120 or 90 to 180 day timeline is too long, get better faster. Okay. Bear in mind, anyone who tells you that they're going to teach you to trade in 30 days is not going to teach you to trade. They're going to have you play and follow the leader. You're never actually going to learn a system. Okay. This is learning a system. We do have a follow the leader program. Okay. But we don't want you to stay there. What do I mean by follow the leader? You go into the room and the trader in the room says, guys, I'm getting in gold at this point. I'm putting my stop here and I'll be in there in 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, and you're putting the trade in and you're literally following them. Okay. Guys, I'm closing down that gold trade right now. You're literally following the leader. The problem with that is when that leader goes away, you can't repeat the system. Here, we're teaching you to be autonomous. We're teaching you to be able to do this without having us there. A second part of expansion, all right, once you're consistent and you have time to add, you can add more efficiencies, okay? For example, you can add additional trades. Pat said, I'm going to teach you 2 trades. You only need 2 trades, possibly 3, right? Reversal, inverse, gap fill. If you don't know what those are, don't worry about it, okay? They're straightforward. They're simple. You can add things like the blow-off trade. Okay. Blow-off trade is a phenomenal trade. It actually works inside a PAT system. We don't teach it initially. Why don't we teach it initially? Because we want you to have the foundational trades before you have it. So by adding another trade, maybe you only see 2 blow-off trades a day. But in addition to the other 2 trades you took, now you have 4 trades a day. More trades, more profit. Now, you have a successful operation. Let's continue to expand this operation. We call it prop farming, okay? Prop farming is taking your effective trading system and trading more than one account. Pat had mentioned this earlier. He'd said, okay, you got people with $50,000 accounts. They now have 3 of them, 5 of them, 7 of them, okay? There are a lot of ways to do this. There is no right way, all right? Some people are able to actively trade. I was just talking to Joe about this earlier. He doesn't use copy traders. He doesn't use any of those things. He just keeps his software on and he turns it on in all the accounts at the same time. Other people use copy traders. Other people they just manually trade in multiple accounts. Okay. Everyone's a little bit different. There's no right way to do this. There's no wrong way to do this. All right. A lot of people have asked me about larger accounts. Okay, so larger or multiple accounts. Multiple accounts seems a pretty easy solution. Larger accounts, though, there are prop accounts that go from 150 to $250,000. There's actually a couple of firms now that have $500,000 prop accounts. Okay, you're like, well, why wouldn't I just trade one account? All right. The simple reason why is mathematically it is inefficient to trade a $150,000 or $250,000 account versus trading multiple $50,000 accounts. Give me a second and I'll explain. Okay. If you have a $50,000 account, you have a $3,000 profit target. That means you have to hit $3,000 in profit in order to get the profit released out to you. Okay. In order to get paid. But you have something called a $2,000 max trailing loss. That means the maximum you can lose in that account is $2,000. That's your risk. Okay. You go outside of $2,000, the account blows up and they take their $50,000 back. They say, thank you very much, sir. Go past go, pay your 200 and you can start. Not collect 200, pay your 200 and you can start again. Okay. So you don't want to hit this max trailing loss, MTL, max trailing loss. Okay. The problem is that if you go to, say, $150,000 account, okay, so it's 3 times the size, you get 3 times the profit target. Okay, that's understandable. Now I have to hit $9,000 in order to get paid. That's totally understandable. But guess what? They only double your max trailing loss, which means you have a greater chance of losing this account. This should be $6,000, but instead it's only $4,000, which means if you lose $4,000 on a $150,000 account, you got to start over again. But if I use 3 $50,000 accounts, I can lose $6,000. Okay. I hope that math is clear to you guys. That's why a lot of people have asked us, why do you guys always talk about $50,000 accounts instead of $150,000 or $250,000 accounts? The reason why is mathematically, you're actually better off with a $50,000 account. All right. And then just multiplying it. Proportionally, you have less risk room on a $150,000 account. You're better off with 3 times 50K. All right. So let's talk about multiple accounts, larger accounts, went through all that. One thing we talked about is opening multiple prop accounts. Okay. There are restrictions. Let me back up so we don't get confused here. There are some restrictions. Some prop firms will only allow you to have 5 accounts at that prop firm, which means you can have, say, 5 at Apex, 5 at Top Step, 5 at Tradify. Okay. That restriction isn't terrible. There are ways around it. Copy trading being one of them. Another thing is that different prop firms, every prop firm is slightly different about how to use software. Okay. Some prop firms, you're not allowed to use copy traders. Nowadays, most prop firms allow it, but we're experts at this, guys. What we've done is we've actually created a matrix of the different prop firms and which ones allow it and which ones don't, so we can help you identify which ones work best. Okay. The other way you can do it if you have multiple accounts, and Joe and I were talking about this earlier, is if you're using the trading software, you just turn the trading software on in each one of the accounts. It's a click of a button, bop, 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 bop. And then it takes the trade in all the different accounts. The timing could be slightly off. The execution could be slightly different, but it's going to take the same trade in all of the accounts. Okay. Trade management should be identical. So the last piece is something called copy trading. Now, I am not necessarily a huge advocate of copy trading. There are a lot of people, we've got a lot of students that are successful with it. Okay. Copy trading is literally what it sounds like. I'm in $50,000 account A, and when I take a trade in that account, it copies my trade into my other 19 accounts. Exactly the trade I took. Now, one problem with that is that if I do that and I lose, I just lost in all 19 of my accounts, all 20 of my accounts, which means I could potentially blow up all 20 at the same time. Okay. So as much as it's a benefit to getting 20 times the earnings, you also have 20 times the risk of loss. Okay. So copy trading, I would stay away from copy trading until you are effective and efficient enough that you can manage the trade yourself in that one account. I would say copy trading is more of an expert level skill. I'm not saying you can't do it, and I'm not telling you not to. I'm just telling you there's a little bit more risk with that. Now, what's your major risk with copy trading? You're not risking losing your capital. You're risking having to reopen your prop account and start fresh. Okay, because they'll shut down your prop account. So you have to go through that whole process of reopening a new account, paying a re-up fee, do anything like that. Okay, so again, if you are interested in that, there's a couple of ones that we use. Traders Post is one. Replicanto is very good as well. We can give you more information on that if that is something you want to do. Joe Johnson does it. I do it. We can give you a lot more information on that. But again, that's an expert level methodology for expansion. Okay. So right now we've talked about a $50,000 account, $3,000 profit goal. But if you open 10 of them, okay, at 50K, you are a $500,000 funded trader. Okay. That's a big win. That's a big win. So that's how you get there, guys. And by the way, you notice something. We never spent more than that initial 3,000. All right. We started off with the education program. We bought into we got all our data and all of our charts and all of that side of it from the funded account. We got through that and we said, okay, well, if we want to, we can reinvest in this program. How do we reinvest? We can reinvest by buying the Prop Trade Accelerator or any of those other programs to get software. We can buy copy traders, things like that, but we're using those initial profits to get us there. Okay. The concept is very simple. It's a roadmap. The most important thing you have to do is you've got to get through that learning process in the beginning. Don't try to jump through the learning process. Take the time, do it right. But let's just say you said, Mike, I don't want to sit through that whole process. I want to accelerate through it. You want to do it better? You want to do it faster? I understand. How do we do it better and faster? Guys, we have a number of different mentorships that can get you through that. Yes, they are an additional cost if you want to do them. We have the accelerated market profile, 6 weeks, Pat. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Mark. AMP is 6 weeks right now?
6 weeks.
So the entire program in 6 weeks. Okay. It's water from a fire hose. We've got a lot of students that have done it and done it successfully. We have something called advanced context trading. This adds a ton of extra trades to what you're doing. It adds a lot of extra confirmation to what you're doing. This takes good traders and it makes them master level traders. And then we got the drawing HVA program, right? Drawing HVAs is the foundation of what we do. It's literally the high volume areas that Pat uses. You learn how to do it for yourself. Why do I include that here? Because if you can draw the HVAs, you understand the basis of them, you get the process a lot faster. And by the way, if you can draw your own HVAs, you don't need us anymore. When you get to the point that you can do that and trade off of them, you don't need us. And we have students that they're with us for a year or two and then they leave. No problem. If they're successful, we just want to see them be successful. So real quick on the education system. All right. It is a multifaceted education system. I don't want to go into too deep of a dive on this, but I'm going to hit a couple of key points. We do have a daily signal room where the trades are called out. All right. If you just want that and you want to try it out, it's $99 a month. It's not a bad program. It's called Market Mavericks. We have the live online classrooms. Okay. These are the nightly classes and the Saturday classes. We've got the live online trading rooms. Okay. These are during the day, the pit session where you're getting market commentary, you're getting trade reviews, you're getting education combined with a lab where you get to test out your trades. We've got the trade reviews. Nobody's doing this, guys. Nobody's doing trade reviews. Trade reviews are literally, they're too time consuming for most companies. We do them because we've seen it's the best way to make traders successful.
Mike,
okay.
May I for one moment?
Of course.
Trade reviews, guys, mean what? The levels that I was speaking about earlier, that I'm the only guy in this business that publishes the day before, so you know where to go long or where to go short, so all the freaking the hard work is taken out for you. Well, you see, we require these trade reviews to prove you're doing what we're teaching you, and for new students to see that it can be done. So when new students are in the room and 6, 7 people are taking the same trade and I'm not telling them to take it, wow, this must be magic. Okay? But what's the real reason? Because none of those other people tell you where to get in, where to get out. They don't tell you anything because most of their so-called methods don't work. I am telling you the day before where to do it. All you have to do is hurry up and wait till it gets there and execute. That's it. All the work is taken out for you. Without that, you're dependent on these people for losing trades. Think about what I just said.
Boom. We also do something called trader checkups, guys. Trader checkups are our team coming to you, working with you, doing everything that we can to get you and keep you on your path to success. We're one of the only companies in the business that offers that. I mentioned Joe Johnson before. He's one of the guys that does your trader checkups. Guys, is an experienced expert level trader calling you on a regular basis saying, what are we doing good? What are we struggling with? How can I get you on a path to success? Okay, trader checkups, a big part of our process. We do have a 24/7 campus library. If you're familiar with the campus library concept, it's a video library that you can go back, you can rewatch classes. It is an interactive library, so you can ask questions there. The instructors will get the questions and you will get a live response to the question as we go. There's lots of other extras that we offer, but that's just a quick look at it. I am going to jump to the two pieces here. I mentioned earlier, you want to do this for under $3,000. I recommend starting with either the Future Starter Pack. Okay, this is the absolute foundation of what we do. The Jeep Wrangler, I love that metaphor. It's got the classroom, the live trading room, campus library. You get the trader checkups. It's $1,500 for the year, guys. You'll be hard pressed to find somebody that gives you as much value as we give you with the Future Starter Pack for $1,500 a year. It's that simple. All right. I did talk a little bit about the fast track. If this is something that you decide, listen, I want to do this, I want to rock it out. This is a 6-month program. You get all the software. You get the HVAs, the key software, the Executioner Deluxe, which is a trade assist software. You get the live trading room, classrooms, campus library, trade reviews. You notice there's a lot more here. Okay. One of the absolute most important points is you get the AMP mentorship. That's accelerated market profile. That's the 6-week course where you learn everything in 6 weeks. Okay. Pat, you got an October 2nd or 3rd start date on that? Somewhere around there?
I believe so. The 6th, maybe? I'm thinking.
6th. It's early October.
Yeah.
It's early October on your start date. You also get the Market Mavericks room, which is the follow me room where as you're learning to trade, you're taking trades and making money in the process. We call it earn while you learn. Okay. This is a slightly more, it's a slightly pricier product. I will tell you as a special right now, we're going to be offering this for $29.97. We don't keep that price there, guys. This is a you gotta close by end of business Friday special, but you get a lot here. A la carte, this is about $12,000 in products. Okay, it is for 6 months. Why do we only do it for 6 months? Because you only need 6 months of this. When you're done with 6 months of this, you go in here and you pick out the pieces that you want and you build an efficient program that's just for you. Okay, this gets you through. If we did this for a year, this would be a $6,000 product. I don't want to see people spending $6,000 until they've really gotten deep in this process and know what they're doing. Okay. Prop Trade Accelerator, we had mentioned earlier. We got a lot. Look, this is my sales pitch on the Prop Trade Accelerator, guys. We got a lot of students making $10,000 a month or more using this program. Okay, that's it. That's the sales pitch for it. You want to be a trader, you want to make $10,000 a month or more, this is a great program. We've got, I think we have just, I have to go back and look at the number, but we've got a number of students on this. Like this isn't like we've got 7 to 10 students on this. I mean, we've got, I think, just under 100 students on this program right now, and they're using it, and they're absolutely kicking ass and taking names. I'm not going to go through all this, but the biggest thing here is you get all the stuff that you need, but you get this small group mentorship, which is super helpful with the Prop Trade Accelerator. And the last thing you get with it is something called Da Vinci, which adds a full extra trade for you. It gives you these gap fills. It's like doubling the number of trades you get. We love it for the Prop Trade Accelerator for prop traders, because of the high probability wins. That's the big push that we like with it. A little moment. Everything we offer is 100% guaranteed approval financing. We don't charge additional interest. We just price you have to do a down payment and then you can price it out. I don't care about your credit score. I don't care about that. Why don't I care? Because if you want to do this, if you're dedicated to doing this, you're going to make the payments because you don't want to lose access. Okay. That's our way of saying, we know you can do this. And then guess what? We're also not going to go after you. You start it, you want to cancel it, you cancel anytime. We are firm believers in the idea that we want students as engaged as we are with teaching them. It's that simple. Don't know where to start, want to discuss some of the other options, want to figure it out, guys, reach out to Joe Johnson. He's Joe at targettrading.co, not .com, .co. The other thing you can do, and I'm going to jump right to the Q&A session, Pat. The other thing you can do is you can go to our website, www.targettrading. There's 2 T's there, guy. Targettrading.co, and you can sign up for a discovery call, and you'll get on a call with Joe. All right. That concludes my portion of this conversation. Pat, do you want to see if there's any questions that you can jump in and go over with people?
Well, I would need you to read the questions for me, because if I open up the chat portion of it, it's going to be projected onto the recording.
Gotcha. I'm not
I'll
seeing
answer anything. Bring it.
I'm not seeing too many questions, which is good. So I hope you listen, guys. I hope you engage. If you've got questions, you're welcome to send them to Joe at targettrading.co. You can reach out to Pat or myself. He's Pat at targettrading.co. He answers his email, guys. Okay.
I want to reiterate one thing before we leave, because there may not be a lot of questions, but I want to address something that most people, really everyone asks. Where do I get in? Where do I get out? How do I do this? I am giving you all of that. I am teaching you how to do it. You're going to know where to get in, either long or short, with how many contracts, the freaking day before the session opens. Nobody else does this. All you have to do is execute. That's it. It is as easy as it gets. There's no funky technical analysis. There's no ridiculous fundamental analysis. We don't care about news. I don't care if the market goes up or down. We are in this for one reason: to win. Nothing else.
That's it. And it's funny how it's that simple, right?
It is. Nobody believes it. We bring people into the room just about every day who don't believe it. Well, I want to see it. Then I show them 6, 7, 8 winners in an hour and a half. They don't believe it. It's in front of their freaking faces. They still don't believe it. Well, guys, if you want this to become difficult, it will be as difficult as you want it to be.
Or just follow the lead.
Or follow the lead, and it can be as easy as anything you ever thought could be easy, if you allow it, which is the biggest problem you have with traders. They have lost so much being ripped off by other companies. They believe nothing works until they see it, and then they're looking for reasons not to do it.
Exactly.
Well, that's fine, because we need those people on the other sides of our trades too. Guess what? That's called liquidity. So we need them to take us out of our winners. Just think about that. Yep.
Pat, I think everybody's good. We kept it under an hour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be sending out an email that'll have the recording. One thing I did mention, guys, in the webinar, I mentioned that I've got a 70% off coupon code. When you get the email will be to you guys, I would say within the hour. It'll have the coupon code and the link if you want to take advantage of that. Okay. I may also throw in a little extra coupon code that's good for today and today only, and knock a couple $100 off, and just to say thank you for attending the webinar today. All right. So check out that email. You'll see it. It's called Webinar Replay. It'll be in your inboxes. Thank you all very, very much. Have a great night. And thank you again.
Thank you.